Hello, and welcome to Alternative Dispute Resolution Methods. My name is Colleen Holcomb, and I'll be your professor over the next few weeks. And I just wanted to introduce myself, introduce the concept of alternative dispute resolution methods, talk about what we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks, and then just go over a few housekeeping items. So again, I'm Colleen Holcomb. I'm a graduate of Regent Law School. And I would highly recommend it if you're considering law school. Regent University is the best place to be, certainly academically, professionally, spiritually, personally. I just had the best experience. I love Regent Law School. Um, and I hope you're finding it to be a great place to be in your program already. So, um, it, I graduated. I won't tell you when, um, but my husband and I are both graduates. We went at different times. We were there in different eras, but we connected later in life. We have a law firm called Holcomb Law, which is in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, near where Regent is. And a few years after we started the law firm, my husband, who had been a mediator before he was an attorney, started a mediation center too. He used to co-teach this class with me. And kind of the good news about, as it relates to alternative dispute resolution, is he's no longer able to co-teach with me, which is a bummer. He added some really great perspectives and a lot of great experience and insight. But the field of alternative dispute resolution, and as we're seeing, particularly mediation, is the demand is exploding. And he's been so busy, he really wasn't able to keep up with both. It was really hard for him to fit it into his schedule. So he's not able to co-teach with me anymore. But I'm continuing to practice. I had stopped practicing for a while. I did some things in the policy arena, but I'm continuing to practice with him, and I'm delighted to be teaching. But what are alternative dispute resolution methods? There are several. The ones that we're going to be talking about, particularly in this class, are arbitration, negotiation, and mediation specifically. And they're processes that enable people who are facing legal disputes to get a resolution without having to go to court. And that's really, really desirable. Anybody who's had to face a court battle knows how incredibly stressful it is to not only just have to go to court, but to feel the powerlessness of having a really important aspect of your life, whether it's a contract dispute, a family dispute, a property issue, whatever it is. But to know that, as my husband used to say, a stranger in a dress, a judge who doesn't know your life, doesn't know your family, doesn't know your circumstances, having to make decisions about your life, your property, your family, whatever the situation is, with only a limited amount of information in a short period of time. That's really scary. So, alternative dispute resolution methods can be really preferable alternatives to having to go to court. They can be significantly less expensive. They can enable a lot more creative solutions. They can also enable a lot of restoration of relationships, particularly the negotiation process can enable people to talk more and build bridges. Mediation does the same thing. Arbitration is a little different. We're going to talk about that first. Arbitration involves each side submitting briefs to an arbitrator. That's we call it a very draconian method of alternative dispute resolution. Each side presents their it's not even evidence, presents their side, and then an arbitrator makes a decision. But every one of these forms enables the dispute to be resolved, again, without having to go to court. And each have their advantages and disadvantages. So we're going to go through those. And then at the end, we're going to go through some other alternative dispute resolution methods. Some are kind of hybrids of the ones that we discussed. Some are just kind of new forms that are being developed or are being used in one way or another. So we'll talk about those as well. So our goals in this class are certainly for you to learn about these methods, for you to be able to understand what they are and in what circumstances they're used. And it would be one of my goals is for you to be able to know, as somebody who takes this class, if you have a friend or encounter someone who's having a legal dispute, for you to be able to have an intelligent conversation with them about what form of alternative dispute resolution might be appropriate and helpful for their situation. And that really is very valuable for people to know that these resolution methods are out there and that there is an alternative to having to go to court, potentially waiting months to even get a first hearing, because the court systems really are overwhelmed and it can make people feel really powerless. So just wanted to let you know about that. Now, just some housekeeping issues. The discussion board is our main, of course, the main way we interact and engage with the materials. For the discussion boards, we have two questions each week that are in the Canvas. So you're responsible for answering those questions each Friday. You answer the two questions, and then by Sunday, you should have three responsive posts where you interact with your colleagues. So you should have a total of 5 posts each week. So you need 5 posts in order to get full credit for that week's discussion board. Now, it's very important. AI has made discussion board posts and assignments, responses in general, very interesting. We want to hear from you, not ChatGPT, not Google, not anything else. These concepts are not rocket science. They're not terribly difficult. Doing internet research, using it as a tool is fine, but we really just want to hear from you. So I want you to engage with the material and just hear what you think. So read the material, see what you think, and then interact with it. The word count, I think the expectations are about 200 to 300 words for the discussion board posts. So that's the expectation. If they're way beyond that, don't do that. You don't need to do that. If they're really far below that, you're going to get graded down for that. But just, that's what we're looking for, is some good, intelligent discussion, because these are some interesting concepts. So I think you'll all enjoy it, and that's where the good discussion tends to be. And please just review the syllabus for the policy about on-time submissions. Please, it's just respectful to your colleagues. We always have some people who have a difficult time submitting their assignments on time. It's just not fair to your colleagues who are working really hard. We know the nature of online work is that everybody has lives and is trying to do their work in addition to everything else they're managing. I know it's difficult, but please do get your assignments in on time. We know life happens. If you have some issues that come up, and there are extenuating circumstances, please contact me. I'll always work with you, and we can come up with a plan to get you back on track if something happens. But it's not okay to be submitting your assignments whenever you want. That will be a problem. And after a certain period of time, there are grade reductions. And then after a certain period of time, I can't accept the late work. So just please be respectful to everybody. And we're going to have a great time. So if you have any questions, my email is in the syllabus. But please do feel free to email me. Also, please do email me at my work address that's included in the syllabus. Messaging me through Canvas is not ideal because although I do log in regularly, I can get back to you faster through my work address. The firewalls at my office and the Regent system just do not get along, so it takes me a little longer to message through the Regent system. So if you just email me through at my work address, I can respond to you much faster. So thank you so much. Looking forward to getting to know everybody. Please watch your announcements. That's how I communicate with everybody. And I'll be sending an invitation for a Zoom event within the next week or two. And please do try to make that if you can. We know not everybody can, but it's always good to put faces to names of the people you're going to be interacting with. So look forward to interacting with you and can't wait to hear what you have to say. All right, take care. Thanks and best wishes. Bye-bye.